Although the unemployment rate ticked up in March, it can be interpreted as a positive development. Hello, this is Bruce Steinberg of www.steinbergemploymentresearch.com reporting on March 2016 U.S. employment trends. The Current Population Survey, or CPS, but commonly known as the Household Survey, found that March's unemployment rate incrementally rose a tenth of a percentage point to 5.0%. A year ago, in March 2015, it was 5.5%. The unemployment rate ticked up because the size of the labor force expanded by almost 400,000, while there are almost 250,000 more employed persons, and the number of unemployed persons increased by just over 150,000. In addition, there were a little bit more than 200,000 fewer people considered not in the labor force, indicating many of those on the sidelines moved back into the employment economy because they felt good about job prospects. Unfortunately, more people moved into or back into the labor force than the employment economy was able to absorb, so the unemployment rate moved up. The results from the Survey of Businesses, officially the Current Employment Statistics Program, or CES, but more commonly referred to as the Job Survey Report, showed that the total number of non-farm jobs increased by 215,000 in March compared to growth of 245,000 in February, and clearly an improvement from the 84,000 it increased by in March 2015. The private goods-producing sector was down only 4,000 in March, and that was an improvement from the 15,000 it lost in February, as well as the 20,000 it declined a year ago in March 2015. Manufacturing jobs suffered a loss of 29,000 in March, and that was worse than the 18,000 it declined in February. In March 2015, manufacturing added 3,000. The construction sector saved the day, or should we say the entire goods-producing sector, with a gain of 37,000 jobs in March, and that was on top of an increase of 20,000 in February. In March 2015, construction decreased by 7,000. And mining and logging continued to dig itself deeper in the hole with a loss of 12,000 jobs in March, but that was an improvement from the decrease of 17,000 of February. Growth in the private service-providing sector was 199,000 in March, and that was not as solid as the 251,000 it added in February. A year ago, in March 2015, this sector added 110,000. Growth in the retail trade sector slowed to almost 48,000 jobs in March, from a jump of little more than 67,000 in February. However, it was still better than a year ago, in March 2015, when retailing added only 25,000 jobs. The professional and business services sector growth improved slightly, with an addition of 33,000 jobs in March after adding 30,000 in February. In March 2015, it increased by 27,000. Job growth in computer systems design and related services was 4,100 in March, which was off from the 5,800 increase of February. The education and health services sector added 51,000 jobs in March, with an assist by the sector's highly seasonal educational services subsector growth of 7,400. The healthcare and social assistance subsector was up 44,000 jobs in March after growing by a little more than 58,000 in February. Home healthcare services continued to contribute its share with 9,600 more jobs in March than February, and February was up almost 10,000. The party continued to slow a bit in the leisure and hospitality sector that added 40,000 jobs in March after adding 45,000 in February. That was certainly an improvement from March 2015, when growth, or should we say no growth, was actually zero. And the total number of government jobs was up by 20,000 in March after adding 9,000 in February. In March, the federal government was up 2,000 jobs, state government was down 1,000, so it was up to local government that added 19,000 jobs. The good news is that temporary help services, which has suffered from 2 consecutive months of decline, was up in March. The not-so-good news is the increase was fairly anemic, with the addition of only 4,000 jobs. The bad news is that the number for January 2016 was revised a lot worse, with a decline of almost 44,000 jobs, which is double the decline reported last month. In March, the temporary help services sector was up 4,000 jobs to 2,891,900, which was a 0.14% increase from February and up only 1.9% year over year. It has been more than 6 years since temporary help services experienced such a small year-over-year increase. And temporary help services market share, that is, its portion of all jobs, continued to retreat and now is 2.01% in March, more precisely 2.0114% from February's 2.01%, or more precisely 2.0116%. Just a few months ago, in December 2015, it was 2.06%. To recap, although the unemployment rate increased, it likely did so for good reasons. Many people on the sidelines decided to jump back in the labor pool, except there was just not enough room for all of them. This is confirmed by both the employment to population ratio as well as the labor force participation rate. Both moved up 0.1%, the same percentage that the unemployment rate increased. And job growth, while not spectacular, but definitely more than 200,000 in March, was within expectations and solid. The only concern we have at this time is the fairly weak growth of temporary help services, which many see as a leading indicator. But with more options for workers to follow in the on-demand employment economy, also sometimes referred to as the Uber economy, it may be time for temporary help services as well as all staffing services to reevaluate their market position and offerings. This has been Bruce Steinberg, and this is just a brief sample of the employment data and analysis we provide.